Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Operation Freedom Briefings. The goal of these briefings in my weekly radio show, Operation Freedom, is to provide you information the bought-off lamestream fake media will not touch or not present. As far as the radio show, it's free. You can join me every Sunday from 2 to 5 Eastern, stream it live. It's a live show. Go to davejanda.com, hit the Listen Live button, and it'll link you to Wham Talk 1600 streaming service. Hit play and you're with us. Great guests. Great analysis, again, information you're not going to get from the bought-off lamestream fake media tentacle of the deep state. In addition, we're available on this YouTube channel. Check the archives, a lot of great content. And in addition, we're available 24/7 at davejanda.com, both the free, the public side, as well as the subscription side. A subscription is $9 a month, extra content, access to all the archives. Information, again, that I believe you will find to be empowering. Empowering because it provides you the necessary, if you will, ammunition to take on the deep state. This is what this is about. Our goal is to empower you by bringing you information to make you a better fighter, a freedom fighter, against the deep state that is intent on stripping you of your freedoms and liberties. The title of today's presentation is "The SS Deep State Has Hit the Iceberg." I know. If you listen to the bought-off lamestream fake media, a tentacle of the deep state, they're going to tell you all is lost with the freedom movement. President Trump is going to get annihilated in a landslide by Joe Biden winning. That it's essentially going to be Obama's third term. That all is lost. And there are a number of people that state that they're on our side, the freedom side, that are some of the biggest whiners on this planet. And there are some on this, if you will, say they're part of the freedom movement, that are all about trying to disparage other people in the movement and trying to divide and conquer all of us. The best thing you can do with the dividers and the divide and conquer crowd that are essentially, if you will, puppets of the deep state themselves, is to ignore them. Ignore them. Take your time and energy and focus it on what each and every one of us can do to, if you will, stop this reign of terror and error that the deep state has inflicted upon our country and our world for decades. Many people say, well, I'm one person. I can't make a difference. Yes, you can. Listen to the YouTube we posted. It was an Insider Insight interview on our subscription platform. We did this last week with Menke, a barber from northern Michigan. Single guy. He took on the totalitarian state and their local totalitarian thug puppet, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who I call, if you will, the Commandant Klink of governors. You know, Klink from the incompetent Commandant from Hogan's Heroes. She's a totalitarian thug. And she shut down the state. And Menke said, no, I don't buy it. And he took her on. And he recently won a 9-0 Supreme Court decision in the state of Michigan. People say, well, I just, there's nothing I can do to make a difference. And to them, I say, Menke, watch that interview we posted free now on this platform. We took it, our subscribers thought it was such a fantastic interview and so empowering, they felt it should be released to the public, and we did that. It's an example of what we do on our subscription platform. Listen to that interview and network it. It is truly empowering. And there are more and more Menkes stepping up to the plate. You don't have to induce a national, if you will, event like Carl did. Just talking to your family, your neighbors, your friends, your coworkers about what's really going on is a significant step that can have huge ramifications, not just in November, but in the years and the decades to come. This past week was horrible for the deep state. They want you to think it was a huge victory. What this goat rodeo, telethon DNC convention was an absolute disaster. Now, listen to CNN and MSNBC, and please, what are you doing listening to them? I mean, we still have a number of our viewers here that say, well, on CNN, on MSNBC. Stop! Why are you going to the trough of propaganda? It's only gonna one, make you throw your blood pressure into the ceiling, but it's also gonna just demoralize you, which is part of their game. Yeah, Biden's speech the other night. Oh, it was heralded as the best speech he ever gave, and it was phenomenal. Well, actually, it was quite similar to the speech he gave in 2008 for his acceptance speech for the vice presidency and with Barack Obama. I mean, this is nothing new for Biden. He has a long laundry list of plagiarizing, not just what he did with his 2008 speech, but the concluding part of this speech that he gave was a ripoff of a 10-year-old speech, actually letter written by a dying Canadian politician. I mean, whether it's Joe Biden in law school getting in trouble for plagiarism, or in 1987 when he was running for president and he plagiarized an English politician at that time. But everybody said, oh, he went without a mistake. Look, I decided I wasn't going to watch it. Nope, I'm not going to deal with it. It's just going to be forget it. The guy's talking off a teleprompter, and a buddy of mine called me that night. Said, you got to watch Biden right now. I go, I'm not going to do it. He goes, turn it on. He goes, he's off. He's calling himself Joey. He goes, he looks like a deer in the headlights. So I turned it on, and sure enough, I turned about the 22, 21 minute mark. Sure enough, deer in the headlights, reading the teleprompter. The teleprompter was skewed away from the camera. It wasn't even set up right. And there he was. And then I heard this statement come out of his mouth. This is supposedly the perfect speech. A monumental, according to CNN, MSNBC, Chris Wallace, at Fox. Oh, yeah. Oh, Juan Williams. Oh, it was just moving. Here's what he said. This is like toward the end of his speech. This is like the conclusion. This is like the finale. Quote, there's never been anything we've been able to accomplish when we've done it together. End quote. Now listen to that. Quote, there's never been anything we've been able to accomplish when we've done it together. End quote. Oh, now that's inspiring. And I texted my buddy. He said, did you just hear what I heard? He goes, yeah. And he said it word for word. Now, many people, when I spoke about this on my radio show on Sunday, said, well, I think you got that wrong. And I don't think you got that right. Okay, well, look, I found the clip. And I want to play it for you. And you decide. Remember, I said, this is what I heard. There's never been anything we've been able to accomplish when we've done it together. This is the perfect speech, supposedly. Okay, here it is. Here's Slow Joe from the basement.
Sake, this is the United States of America. And there's never been anything we've been able to accomplish when we've done it together.
All right, there you go. Game, set, and match. That's their heir apparent to the throne. Let's face it. Who's behind Biden? It's Obama. This is about Obama's third term. This is about finishing the job that Hillary didn't quite get to do. That's what this is about. This is Obama's third term. Period. So they hit an iceberg, not only with that DNC convention, but then there's some things that happened toward the end of the week that were enormous. And they want you to think that everything's just fine and rosy and they want to demoralize you and they want you so you don't even go in and vote on November 3rd. But there's something that hit that was enormous. There was a book published on Amazon that is a surgical dissection of the criminality of the deep state and their puppets, Obama, Brennan, Clapper, Comey, and Mueller. I am going to put a link to the book in the description section underneath this video. I think it's $4.99. I have no financial interest in the book. That's not why I'm suggesting you get the book. But it is, you want to give a great gift to anyone, you want to wake them up, send them this book. It's entitled The Hammer is the Key to the Coup, The Political Crime of the Century by Mary Fanning and Alan Jones, the investigative journalists that we've had on this platform a number of times. I want to read just the very beginning of the introductory overview for you because it really sets the stage. Here it is. During his last days on Earth, U.S. Navy Admiral James A. Ace Lyons, who was a friend of mine and was a regular on our platform on Operation Freedom, he was a former commander of the U.S. Navy Pacific Fleet, seemed less concerned about dying than about stopping the coup d'etat against President Trump. As Admiral Lyons lay on his deathbed, he reached over to his longtime and trusted friend and fellow Cold Warrior, U.S. Air Force Lieutenant General Tom McInerney, who's also regular on our platform, and said, quote, "Tom, the hammer is the key to the coup," end quote. Admiral Lyons, who as commander of the U.S. Navy Pacific Fleet led the largest military command in the world, spoke those words to General McInerney one final time as General McInerney sat beside his old friend on his last day. Admiral Lyons was certain that the deep state had launched the hoax Russia collusion coup against President Trump in order to cover up the Obama administration's criminal domestic surveillance operation, the Hammer. The CIA's charter prohibits the intelligence agency from spying on the American people. But that did not stop Obama, John Brennan, and James Clapper from doing just that. President Obama, John Brennan, and James Clapper commandeered a powerful foreign surveillance tool known as the Hammer in order to illegally spy on the American people, according to CIA contractor turned whistleblower Dennis Montgomery. These co-conspirators illicitly turned the hammer against the American people. Obama, Brennan, and Clapper illegally harvested massive amounts of domestic surveillance data, as stated by Montgomery. It is a great book, and it goes into great detail about how the whole Russian collusion hoax, the Ukraine hoax, the impeachment hoax, was all cover for them covering up their criminal activity they did with illegal surveillance. Look, as we have pointed out on a number of occasions, you want to know the answer to why John Judas Roberts in the Supreme Court a number of years ago ruled in favor of Obamacare. In fact, just became a pretzel, twisting the law and making up stuff in order to make it constitutional. It's because of the Hammer and the information that was gleaned by Obama, Brennan, Clapper, Mueller, and Comey that was then used as leverage, not just on Roberts. It goes into detail in this book about how district court judges, like who? Emmett Sullivan, the one currently holding up, just creating an entire goat rodeo as it relates to General Flynn, denying him his freedom, continuing the persecution of General Flynn. It talks about the surveillance of Supreme Court justices, and in particular, Roberts. Yeah. The SS Deep State has hit a huge iceberg. This book is devastating. Not just to Obama, Brennan, Clapper, Mueller, Comey, Strzok, Page, all of them. It's devastating to the deep state. And let's face it, a huge arm of the deep state is the CIA. Why do you think when and it was pointed out in the book, when General McInerney came on Operation Freedom radio show on March 19, 2017 with the support of Admiral Ace Lyons, it was the first time the Hammer had been discussed on radio or TV. Why do you think from that point on, myself, General McInerney, Admiral Lyons, Mary Fanning, Alan Jones, Bill Binney, Kirk Wiebe, why do you think we were targeted by the CIA? And one other thing. When some of these tools are on platforms talking about being former CIA, no. Once CIA, always CIA. It's kind of like being a member of the mafia. How many former members of the mafia do you know? Right? Or hear about that are still walking around? No. That is why all of us were targeted. Because we had the courage and the audacity to bring that truth forward and stand behind it. Go back to something that former director of the CIA, Pompeo, now Secretary of State, said. I take you back to April of 2019. He spoke at Texas A&M University. During the question and answer session, Pompeo boasted that the CIA, both in the training and the culture, are geared toward the following, quote, "We lied, we cheated, and we stole," end quote. The former CIA chief and now Secretary of State said the following, quote, "What's the cadet motto at West Point?" He had graduated from West Point. "You will not lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those who do." I was the CIA director. We lied, we cheated, we stole. It was like we had entire training courses. It reminds you of the glory of the American experiment, end quote. He made that statement April 15th, 2019.